Ludwig Wittgenstein was a mathematician, philosopher, and also, I think, a German soldier in World War I. And Wittgenstein was one of the most brilliant minds in the 28th century who ended up shaping most of our social thoughts after his life. People talk about Nietzsche, people talk about Marx, but Wittgenstein is where you begin with if you really want to understand modernity. Now, why I'm talking about this? Why I'm talking about Wittgenstein? Because Wittgenstein was one of the first few persons who came up with the idea that up to some degree our thoughts are limited by our words. And this video is about that. This video is about helping you in understanding how you can have very wide, very deep, or very powerful, or let's say how you can connect your mind with your tongue. How you can articulate your thoughts properly. This video is about that. Now, before we begin this video, let me make it very clear who is this video for. Number one, the people who are the part of Young India. People who are the part of Young India and who believe that India has a potential growth and who manifest themselves in the growth of India. Number two, if you are in college, just entered college or halfway through college and who wants to make most of the college time. Number three, the people who are doing some interesting stuff, like there are some kind of interesting projects, there are some kind of interesting internships, and who wants to take or make most potential out of their project or internship, then this video is for you. If you are interested in real development in yourself, not just bandages of motivation, not just bandages of mediocre education. If you are interested in real development in yourself, then this video is for you. If you can able to follow the things which I say in this video, then your way of thinking, your mindset, and your articulation of thoughts will change quite a bit. Get it? Now let's start. Now let us talk about why having great vocabulary is important. Because having great vocabulary makes you a beast. You can ask how having a great vocabulary makes me a beast. You can ask how. Because the first one is, all your words are based upon your thinking. All your thoughts are reflected upon your words. And if you don't have a word for a particular thing, then you can't think of that. And if you can't able to think, then you can't innovate at all. Not just innovation in tech, but you can't innovate in your relations with your parents, with your friends, with your actual boyfriend or girlfriend. You can't innovate at all. And if you can't able to innovate, then you can't win the conflicts. Whenever you are in conflict, the reason why you are always losing the battles with your parent, with your father, mother, because you don't have proper words to describe that feeling, describe that thing. Number two, all your internal monologue also happens in words. And if you don't have proper word for a particular feeling, then you can't describe that thing. Let's say that when I am eating ice cream, my dopamine spike will go up. And I describe that feeling, I put that feeling in a box, and that box is happiness. And when someone beats me, I describe that feeling as sadness. And when I beat someone, I describe that feeling as angriness. And if we don't have proper words for a particular feeling, then this is when people go for therapy. The reason people go for therapy is they don't have proper words to describe their feelings. And in the therapy, what people are doing is they are figuring out the words which they don't know the feeling about. And if you don't know the particular word or for the feeling, why you're feeling this anxiety, this depression, or this thing, is because you're not able to map your reality properly, not your own reality. And why the reason why you're not able to map your reality properly is because you don't have proper words for that thing. And if I talk about Indians in particular, we use multi-language. We talk in English, we use Hindi, we use Telugu, we use Tamil, we use Kannada. But the problem is not that having or speaking multi-languages. The problem is not knowing even one language completely. This is the problem. When you don't know one language properly, then you can't communicate clearly with another person. And if you can't able to communicate your thinking, your thoughts properly, then what's the use of having multi-languages? What's the use of knowing multi-languages? And I remember this thing very clearly when I was in my 10th. There was a chapter in social when Germany was invading France. The teachers, the schools in France, the people who are in France used to tell their children that don't forget French language. Because of French language you are French. Because of French language there is France country, and if you forget France, there is no France. There will be no France. There will be no country like France, because French is based upon the French language. This is the importance of language. And we people, we don't know completely anything. We feel ashamed of our own mother tongue. Right? Anyways, moving on. Number 3 is when you talk with people, when you are interacting with people in general, whenever you are like interacting with people, you are basically negotiating on what versions of reality is true. And I can give you a micro example of that when you are talking with your friends, let's say that I said my friend that Moin, let's start coding or let's start programming, and he will say that okay, let's start programming. So what I conveyed is, I conveyed my version of reality to my friend and he agreed upon it. And the reason why you are failing all these negotiations in your life is because you don't have proper words, or you can't able to employ words properly. And I read this quote, I don't know where I read this quote, but the quote goes like that: the people when they engage with other people, when they engage with their social reality, is basically a report card of how they are doing internally, how they are doing psychologically. The people, when they interact, what they are doing is they are like basically putting out all their shames, all their fears, all their talents out. And believe me when I say that around 70% of your time in your whole life, you're basically negotiating on your version of reality versus someone else's version of reality. And the main reason why you are failing in this negotiation is because you don't have proper words, or you don't know how to employ words properly. Right? And if I talk about the current economics of this situation, where attention is the heart of everything, when you see, you will get wondered that why Elon Musk has to tweet so much to say that this is not Twitter, this is X. Because all the businesses in this world has become influencer led. X has become Elon Musk led business. Meta, Facebook, has become Mark Zuckerberg led business. Apple has become Tim Cook led business. Similarly, not just businesses, political parties also. Like if you take Republican of America, it has become Donald Trump's led business. BJP has become Modi's led business, party to be specific, right? And all the institutions in the world has become a influencers led thing, and influencers lead everything. And that is why I'm in the business of attention, because I know that attention is kind of asset that you can't take away from me, right? So the third point is, all your life, when you are interacting with people, you are basically negotiating on what version of reality is true. And the reason why you are basically failing all the battles, all the conflict, is because you don't have proper words, or you don't know how to employ words properly. Right? Number 4 is building upon what Wittgenstein says and what modern philosophers has rightly concluded. If you listen to Foucault or Derrida for a longer period of time, for most of the time, what they said is that the right place, if you really want to manipulate a person, then the right place to manipulate a person is to take him in a place, take him in a world where he don't understand the words. And the best example will be, you might have seen people started beating doctors, because how you can say like do this test, how you can say to me like I am this, I am that. This conflict arises. And you might have seen that attorneys, lawyers might have used their clients for a longer period of time, because what happens there is because people don't understand the words, and if they don't understand the word, then we can manipulate that person very easily. Right? And when American civil movement was happening, when there was ending slavery, there was a famous quote, I don't know who said this, but the quote goes like that we are unfree because we don't have proper language to articulate our unfreedom. And believe me when I say that if you don't have a proper vocabulary, if you don't have words in your mind, then people will manipulate you easily. And you can see the real examples. You can see that the language used by the doctors is not understood by the normal people. That is why people fight with doctors. And attorneys, lawyers use normal people for a longer period of time for their profits, because what is happening here is the normal people are not able to understand the language which is used in courts. That is why they got easily manipulated. Got my point? Right? These are the 4 reasons, which is all your thoughts are reflected upon words. Number 2, your internal monologue also happens in words. Number 3, you are always negotiating on your version of reality versus someone else's version of reality. And number 4 is building upon what Wittgenstein says, that the right way, or if you really want to manipulate a person, then you should take him in a place where he don't understand the language. Right? These are the 4 reasons why you should learn vocabulary, why you should have very great vocabulary. Now let us talk about types of vocabulary. There are 2 types of vocabulary. There is width in vocabulary and there is depth in vocabulary. Width ensures you that you understand many things well, and depth ensures you that you understand one thing very well. To understand the phenomenon of width, to understand what is the meaning of width, the best example will be Rizwan. If you observe Rizwan, he can able to talk to a venture capitalist, to a CEO of a company, to principals. When we used to do business, he used to talk with principals of different colleges. And he can able to talk to a professor, he can able to talk to a chai wala, he can able to talk to a auto wala, because what he does is he has wide variety of vocabulary, he has wide variety of words which he can use. And if you see properly that when he is talking to a marketing guy, he uses a set of vocabulary, and when he is talking to a venture capitalist, he uses a set of vocabulary, and he has wide variety of vocabulary. He has wide variety of sets of vocabulary which he uses in a particular situation. And if he don't have a particular word for a particular thing, then he can able to cross pollinate from another set and he can able to describe it. And to be honest, this width of vocabulary comes from reading broadly. And we'll talk about like how to read broadly, how to read in various disciplines and all those kind of things. But width comes from reading broadly and having interest in knowing many words. And believe me, when you are talking with people, when you are socializing, when you are networking with other people, you should have width of vocabulary. Got my point? And number 2 is you should have depth in vocabulary. And what I mean by width, depth is that understanding one word very properly, very clearly. And when depth is useful when you are giving some technical stuff, when you are having interview, or when you are doing some academic presentations, then you should have depth in vocabulary, or you should use depth of vocabulary, because using depth ensures or indirectly implements that you are a potential person, you are a worthy person. Let me give you words: lobotomy or onomatopoeia, right? or you can I will give you Naive-Bayes theorem or Naive-Bayes algorithm. Many of you might don't know even the meaning of lobotomy, right? And the reason why you don't know, because you don't know the meaning or the context of that word. And some of you guys might know Dijkstra's algorithm. Most of you guys are from computer science background or BTech background, and you guys know, some of you might know the meaning of Dijkstra's algorithm. The reason why you know this word is because you have the understanding of that word. You know, depth shows you that you have understanding, right? And believe me that when you use depth of vocabulary in academics, in an interview, or whenever you are giving HR, if you use depth of vocabulary, then it's a direct, like, very good impression of you, because it ensures you that you know the concept. That's why you are able to use using that language. You know, I'm a computer science student, so I can use various terminologies, and by using these terminologies, this ensures me that I am a worthy opponent, I am a worthy employee, because I know the words, I have the depth. And if you don't know the words, then you can't think. If you don't know the concepts, then you will not know the words. You don't know the words because you don't know the concept. Many of you here, I can guarantee you that you don't know the meaning of lobotomy. Why? Because you don't know the context, the actual, substance, or where it being used, because you're not familiar with that. If I am using the word Schrodinger's wave equation, this tell me that I know something about Schrodinger's wave equation. And when I was studying philosophy, I was studying German philosophy, and I remember that there's a terminology called as Hegel, phenomena called as Hegel. And if you wrote Hegel in your philosophy papers, then you will easily get A or A plus, because no one knows the actual meaning of Hegel. And if you can able to reference Hegel, if you can able to use word Hegel in your philosophy papers, then professor will easily give you the A or A plus plus grade, because you are using these terminologies, these words. And using these words ensures you that you know the meaning, the context, the actual essence of that word. Got my point? And if I giving physics papers, or giving computer science papers, if you can able to use words angular momentum, or let's say that quantum entanglement, when I'm giving quantum mechanics paper, if you can able to use words as quantum entanglement, or photon emission, or let's say that kinetic wave theory, or Schrodinger's wave equation, or de Broglie's wave equation, these terminologies ensures you that you know the concepts, right? And believe me that if you are networking with people, if you are networking with in parties or anything, you should have width of vocabulary. And whenever you are giving some research kind of exams, or whenever you are giving some interviews, you should have depth of vocabulary. Got my point? Now we have talked about why vocabulary is important, we have talked about types of vocabulary. Now let us talk about how we can acquire great vocabulary. Let me tell you very clearly that to learn anything, you should have interest, you should have heart, and without having heart or without having proper interest, you can't do anything. You can go and do hookah, you can go and do drugs, you can have morphine, cocaine and all those kind of things, you can do joints, or you can fall behind girls, right? Without interest, you can do these sort of things. But to learn anything, even it is very small thing, you should have interest. And interest comes from reading broadly. The first point is how to, in the context of how to acquire good vocabulary, the first thing is you can have great vocabulary, great words by reading broadly. And dude, I will suggest you that read broadly, read across fiction, read across non-fiction, read law, read science papers, read research articles, read across Wikipedia. And when you read broadly, you will come across many words. And when you don't understand the meaning of a particular word, there's a sentence which is used in that word, right? So when you don't understand the word, by reading the sentence you can understand the context of that word. And what you will do is, if you don't understand a word, you will go into Google and search that word and go through Wikipedia for half an hour, bro. And believe me that what people do is, in order to acquire vocabulary, they will install random app, and that app will give you a daily new word and all those kind of things. And I have to tell you this incident, that one of my friends was studying in international schools, and in international schools, what the management did is, they used to have toilet rolls, right? Toilet papers. So in the toilet paper, whenever they scroll new toilet paper, there is a word on this. So he used to send me photos. Oh, see, I'm learning new word and all those kind of things. But nothing you will learn from those kind of things. You won't learn anything from any app which gives a random word. Or let's say that you are learning, but you can't able to recall that for a longer period of time, because you just understood the word, you kept it back in your head, and that's all, right? So you can't learn anything from social media apps, or apps there are many apps, right? And you can't learn from dictionary and all those kind of things. You should go and read papers, just go and read research articles, man, and see how you come across various words which you don't even know, right? Sorry for the camera quality, the light is going off, but yeah, right? And I egg most of you guys to read law, right? Because I believe that law is kind of a discipline where words hold so much weightage. If you see Oppenheimer movie, in Oppenheimer, lawyers shape reality based upon words, and whether you are guilty or not, these guiltiness can be proven using words. And you will understand that how words hold meanings, how words hold real weightage, and based upon words, lawyers form reality. Right? Got my point? And this is the reason you should learn many things, many words properly. And one of the best practices to learn many things is reading broadly. Whatever you are interested in, if you are interested in manga, just go and read manga. If you are interested in comics, superhero comics, just go and read comics. If you are interested in reading law or reading science articles, just go and read science articles for 1 hour or 2 hours straight. And believe me that you will come across 1,000 words, right? And this is the practice used by Ivy League schools. The people who are studying, the students who are in Ivy Leagues, they will read broadly, man. And we will talk about in some other live session that why Ivy League, there are a group of schools in America which forms Ivy Leagues, and some of the schools are Harvard, some of the schools are Princeton and Yale. All those Columbia is one of the part of, and these people are built different. These people read 1,000 to 1,500 new words every week, right? That is the reason why these students has wide variety of words, right? And believe me that if you go through Wikipedia without any agenda, then you can able to learn many things, many words, many thinking processes will arise in your head, will develop in your head, right? Got my point? So when we were a child, when we are childs, our parents used to give encyclopedia, these large books, and they used to tell me that, oh, just read in your free time and you will learn many things. Nowadays, Wikipedia is so easy, man. Wikipedia is so easy, and you can go whenever you want. And you can open the tab anytime, you can refresh it, you can swipe it, you can retrieve the data for a longer period of time. The Wikipedia is so easy nowadays. So the first thing is, in order to acquire huge, powerful, deep vocabulary, you should read broadly. Just surf through Wikipedia for 2 hours daily and see how it changes your words, how it changes your daily usage of words. Right? Number 1 is reading broadly. Number 2 is listen to a wide variety of smart people. And that smart people might be me, that smart people might be Rizwan, that smart people might be any other person. Right? When you listen to people, what you are doing is, when you are listening to me, if you are staying, this is the 26th minute, I guess. So if you are listening to this, what you are doing is, you are absorbing the energy which is in me. And when you listen to a wide variety of smart people, what you are doing is, you are observing how they speak, how they behave, how they shape their body, how they move their body, how they move their lips, their eyes, their facial gestures, all those kind of things. And human is kind of a monkey, and we are very smart, very good at imitation. We imitate other persons very very in a good way. We imitate other persons very properly, very brilliantly, to be specific. So listen to wide variety of people. I can give you names. So back in my first year, when I was really consuming content, I used to listen. I can give you names: Jordan Peterson, Osho, Sam Harrison, Eric Weinstein, Tim Brown. What I can say? Ron Conway. Paul, what's his name? I can't recall. Some kind of Paul. The people, the person from Y Combinator. Sam Altman, Morgan Housel, Daniel Kahneman. Sorry, my words. Talib, Joe Rogan's podcast, right? And I remember, I was listening to Foucault versus Chomsky debate, and I was wondered. I was my mind was gone, because Foucault was speaking in French and Chomsky was speaking in English, and they are actually debating on a thing. And for me, it was like McGregor and Khabib's fight save in the internet for me. Right? When you listen to smart people, what you're doing is, you're absorbing their energy. Listen to Elon Musk podcast. Listen to Raj Shamani. If you are familiar with Hindi, then listen to Raj Shamani's podcast. Brilliant. And listen to or listen to the debate which is stored in internet. I hope you can find the debate Foucault versus Chomsky. And Foucault was speaking in French and Chomsky was speaking in English, and they are debating on an actual thing. Just think about that. Just think about the thought processes will go behind it. And I strongly recommend you that if you are starting a business, or if you are thinking, or if you want to understand how business works, listen to Sam Altman. Sam Altman was giving lectures in Stanford, I guess, and just search Y Combinator startup series, and there will be around 20 lectures. Each lecture is 1 hour. Just go through it daily and think and see how it changes you, how it changes your perspective toward business and startups. And Sam Altman is now the CEO and one of the founding members, I guess, right, of one of the largest artificial intelligence companies, right, that is OpenAI. And back then he was giving lectures with a plain t-shirt, with a Superman t-shirt and with a short, and you will laugh at that person. He was very thin, he don't have proper words at that time, but when you see that, you will see his growth, how he has evolved, right? So the first thing is read broadly, read across fiction, non-fiction, research papers, and I beg you guys to read law articles. And if you don't want to read law, then just go through research articles, because law and science is kind of discipline which teaches you, which uses wide variety of words, right? And go through Wikipedia, surf through Wikipedia for 2 hours, right? Number 2 is listen to a wide variety of people. By listening to them, what you're doing is you're observing a lot of energy, a lot of words, a lot of articulation of thoughts, right? And believe me that 2 hours of listening to a podcast, 2 hours of listening to scientists debating on a thing, 2 hours of listening to attorneys speaking in like a court, you will learn a lot, rather than like going to a random app, learning 1 word daily. It doesn't help you, right? Okay. And you might ask that if it was so easy, then why people are not doing that? I believe that the people, why they are not doing is that when they come across a word which they don't know, which they find difficulty, let's say that I come across a word shagalicious, which I don't know the meaning, which you might also don't know the meaning. But when they come across hard words, when they come across hard language, what they eventually do is they will give up. And they will not return at all, because they find it so hard, and they will listen to some kind of easy peasy music. They will listen to Hindi music, they will listen to Mahesh Babu, they will listen to Taylor Swift and all those kind of things. But believe me that this is a time where you should persist, where you should hold yourself tight. When you're not understanding, search it in various browsers, various search in Wikipedia, dude, search in Google, search in ChatGPT, search in various internets, and try to understand the meaning of that word. This is how you learn or you acquire wide range of vocabulary. Now you have understood why to learn vocabulary, types of vocabulary, and how to acquire it. Now let us talk about, you have acquired much words, how you can implement it. You know, the time is, we have taken 45 minutes, so I will wind up very quickly. So how to implement, or how to like use the words which we have acquired by our previous methods, right? So the first thing is speak. Talk to wide variety of people. When you are young, talk to wide variety of people. What I meant that go and talk to the intellects in your college. You know, you might say that my college is very bad, my college is a tier 3 college, I don't have anyone to talk. But I can guarantee you that there will be 1 or 2 professors who are really good. Just go and talk to them, because when you talk to them, what you're doing is you're sharing your ideas, your thoughts, your like thinking processes with them, and your professors are sharing their thoughts, their thinking process to you. So an exchange of ideation will happen here. And by talking to a wide variety of people, go and talk to your friends. You can talk to me, you can talk to like some other persons, you can talk to Rizwan and all those kind of things, right? And when you're talking, when they put their version of argument, you can like again rephrase their argument, and you can steelman it. Steelman is nothing but phrasing their arguments in a strong words, in a strong frame of words. This is known as steelmanning. You're steelmanning their argument. You know, whatever they like say, rephrase that word and steelman it, and present it with a strong articulation. Present it with a strong voice. Got my point? This is how you will have a great vocabulary. Right? Got my point? I hope you have learned something, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.